Hello, lovelies. This is Annette of AnnetteLeonard.com back again with another moment for chronic wellness. Thanks so much for joining me. We are wrapping up our conversation this time about sex and chronic illness. And I guess just on a final note, it's kind of thinking about the impacts 360 of sex and having it and not having it. And, the impact on me, the person with chronic illness, is both emotional and physical. And, not having it, there's different impacts than having it. And when I have it, there's all the recovery. And, in talking extensively with my partner, I know too that there are impacts on her. Certainly there are impacts of us not having it and what it is like to be a person who is healthy and active and whose libido has not necessarily changed because of chronic illness, having to deal with a partner who has chronic illness and having to take her cues from me about when it's okay to try and attempt sex and intimacy, and then the impact that she has around what's playing in her head. I know that we've really had to work on her not calculating sex as we're having it along the lines of what impact it's having on me. I mean, talk about a head game. The hard to enjoy sex when you're like, oh, the better stop now because man, this is taking it out of my wife. And yet we're humans, and those of us who love each other are going to be hard pressed to not consider some of those facts and details. And so impacts, whew, we've certainly gone months at a time without having sex, and I feel like there's distance in that lack of closeness, and there's difficulty when we do have sex. And so figuring out how to untangle this knot together and how to try to find good enough sex and other replacement intimacy and find the days when sex is possible and find the ways to be connecting with each other and gaining intimacy. Really tough. And at least in our lives, really worth it. How about you? I'd love to know a bit more about whether you've given up on it altogether, whether you are finding ways to do it at the exclusion of other things in your life. Let me know. And in the meantime, thank you for being here. I would sure love it if you would comment or subscribe. And I'd love it if you join me here again. So until next time, thank you and be well.